Public speaking can be by far one of the scariest and most intimidating things we have to deal with. In this video, I'll give you 5 tips from my own experience, and whilst I can't guarantee they will take away the fear completely, they may help you feel more comfortable and confident when having to complete a task like this. Tip 1. Know your material inside out. For many people, what they actually fear when speaking in public is the possibility of them saying something or doing something that will embarrass or humiliate them. There's nothing wrong with this. Humans are social creatures, and even though we may say that we don't, we often do care about how others see us. So how do you avoid potentially embarrassing yourself in front of a large number of people? You prepare thoroughly. That means you research your topic and make sure you know exactly what it is you're talking about. It'll also play in your favour if anybody from the audience happens to ask you a question about it. The more knowledgeable that you are, the more confident that you'll feel whilst talking about it. Tip 2. Consider the structure of your presentation. It is incredibly obvious when there has been no preparation beforehand. The speech is filled with mumbling and bumbling and ers and ahs, and it's just generally all over the place. A simple solution to this is to give your presentation or speech a structure. There are many different structures that you can use depending on the context of your presentation, but a very straightforward template you could adopt is this one. Begin with an introduction on who you are and the topic you'll be discussing. Then discuss your first key point. Then move on to discussing your second key point. After that, consider the opposing point of view, also known as a counter-argument. Finally, make your concluding comments based on everything that you've previously discussed. Tip 3. Consider your body language. Being aware of the non-verbal signals that you give off at any time can be very important, but when giving a presentation or a speech, it is essential. When I'm talking about body language, I'm referring to things such as making frequent eye contact with the audience. Eye contact helps you build a connection with your audience and can increase their engagement. Maintaining a good posture, whether sitting or standing. Sit upright, not slouched, to show that you are taking the task seriously. Most presentations and speeches are formal occasions, so you need to ensure that you are acting in an appropriately professional way. Using gestures to illustrate your points with more emphasis. A lot of the time, people feel somewhat more uncomfortable because they don't know what to do with their hands, so they try to force them by their sides or stuff them into their pockets, which can come across as informal and awkward. My advice would be to use your hands as an extra tool for conveying your ideas. Some people naturally talk with their hands, but even just the odd gesture, the occasional wave of a hand, or the raising of a finger can be very powerful in terms of emphasizing the point you are trying to make. Tip 4. Accept that feeling nervous is normal. Sometimes becoming aware that you're feeling nervous about something will make you even more nervous because you become nervous about looking like you're nervous.
What?
The thing is, nervousness is completely normal when it comes to something like public speaking. Of course you will feel apprehensive and perhaps a little bit scared if you're doing something that you don't often do. Just remember that this is okay, and it's actually expected. Completing a speech can feel like a grueling process, especially when you're a teenager, standing in front of your peers, at an age when you're naturally more self-conscious already. Think about this though. If everybody in that class has to deliver a presentation, believe me, the majority of people in that room will be far more concerned about not messing up their own presentation than on spending time looking to criticize yours. Tip 5. Practice, practice, practice. As with any skill, the more you do it, the better you will get. Preparing for a public speech is no different. Once you have written your speech, regularly read over it. Some people recommend reading it out loud to yourself in the mirror. Others may suggest reading it out loud to a family member, a friend, a neighbour, even your pet goldfish. So long as you are reading over it out loud and practicing it often, you will naturally be embedding key parts of your presentation into your mind, meaning that you will gradually become more and more familiar with it, and this will then help you to grow in confidence. When you're reading something out loud, you'll notice if a sentence doesn't quite sound right, or if the way you phrase something sounds a bit unnatural, and you can make any changes before you deliver the real presentation, rather than discovering them during it and tripping yourself up in front of your audience. That's all for this video. Thanks very much for watching. If you have any other useful tips or helpful stories that you'd like to share from your own experiences of public speaking, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You never know who you might help out. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, and if you found this video useful in any way, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.